You know exactly what you need to do, but you just can't get yourself to do it. Hours pass, days slip away, and that task stays untouched. But what if I told you the problem isn't your motivation, it's your mindset? In a few minutes, I'll show you a simple shift that forces you into action even when you don't feel like it. Because if you don't change this now, you'll keep watching your potential slip through your fingers. How long will you let fear paralyze you? When will you stop letting the flames of doubt burn through the canvas of your dreams? Are you aware that each moment you hesitate, each minute you think, "not yet," tears a shred off your chances for success? Today we're diving deep into the truths you avoid, the lies you tell yourself, and the fears that dominate your decisions. Get ready, because I'm about to reveal how embracing the discomfort of action can transform your life, shattering the illusion that comfort brings progress. If you appreciate what we're doing here, hitting that subscribe button is a simple, free favor that really helps us out. Let's get started and unlock the secrets to taking control of your time and actions. Understanding procrastination. Ever find yourself caught in the trap of procrastination? You're not alone. Often we view it as a mere annoyance, a barrier that prevents us from achieving our goals. Yet procrastination is not just about laziness or a lack of motivation. At its core, it's a complex dance with our inner fears: fear of failure, fear of judgment, and fear of not being perfect. It's our mind's way of shielding us from potential pain and discomfort, wrapping us in a false sense of security that comes from not doing. Now, you might wonder, why do we fear these things? Western philosophy and psychology offer some insights. Carl Jung once said, "What you resist not only persists, but will grow in size." This is precisely what happens with procrastination. The more we avoid our tasks, the larger and more insurmountable they seem to grow in our minds. This avoidance becomes a breeding ground for anxiety and stress, feeding the very fears that caused us to procrastinate in the first place. Interestingly, the Stoics had a take on this too. They believed that the anticipation of events could often be more debilitating than the events themselves. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your own judgment about it. And it is in your power to wipe out this judgment now." This Stoic wisdom suggests that by changing our perceptions, we can overcome the inertia that procrastination breeds. It's not the task that's daunting, it's what we tell ourselves about the task that holds us back. So, how do we tackle this beast? First, we need to recognize procrastination for what it is: a defense mechanism that protects us from perceived harm. By understanding this, we can start to question the validity of our fears. Are we really in danger, or are we just afraid of being less than perfect? Most of the time, the worst-case scenario in our heads is far from reality. Next, it's crucial to break the cycle. Start small. The Stoics advocated for focusing on what's within our control and letting go of what isn't. Apply this by taking small, manageable steps towards your goal. This method reduces the overwhelming nature of tasks and minimizes the fear surrounding them. As you progress, your confidence grows, reducing the urge to procrastinate. Embrace the process of making mistakes. Remember, each error provides a chance to learn and grow. Embracing this can significantly lessen the fear of failure. As Jung also noted, the most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. By accepting our imperfections and vulnerabilities, we diminish their power over us and reduce the need to procrastinate. The 5-minute miracle. Have you ever heard of the 5-minute rule? It's a brilliantly simple yet profoundly effective strategy that can jumpstart your productivity and combat the paralysis often brought on by procrastination. The concept is straightforward. Choose a task, set a timer for just 5 minutes, and give that task all you've got until the timer goes off. Whether it's jotting down the first few lines of your new blog post, organizing a shelf, or starting the first slides of a presentation, just dive in. The beauty of this method lies in its simplicity and the psychological underpinnings that make it work. It taps into the low-commitment nature of 5 minutes, an unthreatening, almost negligible amount of time that even the greatest of procrastinators can agree to. But here's the secret sauce. Once you start, the momentum builds and stopping becomes the harder option. This is partially explained by what psychologists call the Zeigarnik effect, where people remember uncompleted or interrupted tasks better than completed tasks. In essence, once you begin a task, your brain remains engaged and is naturally inclined to see it through to completion. Now, why does something as simple as the 5-minute rule work so effectively? From a philosophical standpoint, it aligns well with Stoic principles, particularly those that focus on controlling what we can immediately and disregarding the rest. Marcus Aurelius emphasized the importance of concentrating your efforts on the present moment and doing what lies in front of you with precise and genuine effort. The 5-minute rule encapsulates this teaching by urging us to focus solely on the next 5 minutes of our lives, rather than getting overwhelmed by the entire scope of our responsibilities. Carl Jung also touched on concepts that resonate with the 5-minute rule when he discussed how starting small can lead to significant psychological rewards. He believed that the least of things with a meaning is worth more in life than the greatest of things without it. Applying this to our 5-minute task, even a small amount of meaningful, focused effort can add significant value to our day and to our psyche, far more than spending hours aimlessly or in avoidance. Moreover, this method alleviates the pressure of perfectionism, a major stumbling block for many. By committing to only 5 minutes, you're not setting up an intimidating goal of perfection, but rather a starter block from which you can build momentum. This approach echoes the psychological concept that getting started is often the hardest part. Once action is initiated, anxiety about the task often decreases, and the process begins to flow more naturally. For those who find themselves routinely stuck, feeling as if even the smallest tasks are insurmountable, the 5-minute rule can be a game changer. It's not just about tricking your brain into initiating a task. It's about fundamentally restructuring how you approach work and life. It transforms your outlook from one that dreads the start of any task to one that takes pleasure in the consistent and rewarding practice of beginning. Break it down. Diving into a large project can often feel like standing at the base of a towering mountain. The peak seems distant and the path upwards daunting. How do you conquer such a massive challenge? The key lies in breaking down the monumental into the manageable. This technique of dividing a huge project into smaller, more digestible parts isn't just a strategy for managing work. It's a profound life philosophy that has been echoed across various schools of thought, from Stoicism to modern psychology. The wisdom of Stoic philosophy, particularly from thinkers like Seneca, teaches us not to be overwhelmed by the apparent enormity of tasks. Seneca advised, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." This can be interpreted as a call to action to make efficient use of our time by focusing on the present and handling tasks as they come, one step at a time. This approach helps in reducing the anxiety that comes with the perceived immensity of tasks and shifts our focus to the current moment, aligning our efforts to the immediate, achievable steps. Psychologically, breaking tasks down helps mitigate the overload of cognitive resources that occurs when we consider a task in its entirety. This phenomenon is well documented in cognitive psychology, where manageable tasks are seen as less threatening, thereby increasing our likelihood of initiating action. Carl Jung once noted, "You are what you do, not what you say you'll do." By breaking a project into actionable steps, we move closer to being productive individuals defined by our actions rather than our intentions. For example, let's say you need to write a report. Staring at the task, "Write report," on your to-do list can be paralyzing. However, rewriting that task as "Select report topic by Tuesday," "Write 300 words on the introduction by Wednesday," transforms an overwhelming project into a series of small, manageable tasks. This method not only provides a clear roadmap towards completing the project, but also offers multiple opportunities for small victories along the way, which can significantly boost morale and motivation. Moreover, the process of breaking tasks down allows for more detailed planning, which in itself can be a motivator. According to the Zeigarnik effect in psychology, people remember uncompleted or interrupted tasks better than those they complete. When you break a project into parts and start completing these smaller segments, each completion gives you a psychological boost. It reduces the mental load of the unfinished project because you're continuously making progress, and that progress is visible. This approach also aligns with the agile methodology used in software development, which emphasizes iterative progress through small, incremental releases. By applying this to everyday tasks, you adopt a flexible, responsive approach to work. You learn quickly from small failures and adjust your next steps in real time, which is much more efficient than realizing a mistake after a lot of work on a large task. Each small task you complete builds momentum. As the ancient Chinese philosopher Laozi once said, "A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." This proverb highlights the essence of tackling big projects by focusing on the small, immediate steps. These steps are like the individual brush strokes of a large painting. Each one might not seem like much by itself, but together they create a stunning masterpiece. Action precedes motivation. Have you ever sat around waiting for that spark of motivation to strike? Well, here's a revelation that might just change how you approach everything. Action precedes motivation. This means, quite simply, that the key to getting motivated is to start doing. It's an approach that flips conventional wisdom on its head, but stick with me here. This is a game changer. Traditionally, we're conditioned to think that motivation is the starting point for any meaningful action. You feel inspired, and then you act. However, waiting for motivation can be like waiting for a perfect day in a perpetually rainy climate. It might never come. Instead, by taking action, even in a small way, you initiate a cycle where motivation follows suit, fueled by the progress you're already making. This concept is backed by both psychological insights and philosophical wisdom. In psychology, there's a principle known as behavioral activation. It suggests that simply by doing something, you can elevate your mood and energy levels, thereby increasing your motivation to keep going. This aligns closely with the ideas of Carl Jung, who believed that you aren't what you say you'll do, you are what you do. In other words, action defines us more than intention does. Stoic philosophy also offers a strong foundation for this approach. The Stoics believed in focusing on what you can control and taking action, not being stalled by emotions or external circumstances. Marcus Aurelius famously said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This means that the very act of overcoming obstacles through action can become a driver of further actions, turning barriers into bridges. But how does this play out in real life? Consider the times you've tackled a mundane task like cleaning your desk. Initially, you might not feel like doing it, but once you start, you gain momentum, and before you know it, you're organizing your entire workspace. The action itself creates the motivation to do more, turning a small task into a productive spree. Moreover, seeing the results of your actions provides a psychological boost. This is known as the progress principle. Even minor progress in meaningful activities can boost your emotions, perceptions, and motivation levels. As you see the fruits of your labor, no matter how minute, your brain releases dopamine, a neurotransmitter linked to pleasure and motivation, which propels you to continue pursuing those rewarding feelings. The lesson here is clear. Don't wait to get motivated. Instead, dive into action. Whether it's starting a new project, tackling a challenging task, or pursuing a long-term goal, the act of beginning can transform your mental and emotional state. You move from a state of inertia to one of dynamism, where each step forward makes the next step easier. To implement this, start with something small. The smaller the action, the lower the barrier to entry. Once you've taken the initial step, the subsequent steps become less daunting, creating a positive feedback loop of action and motivation. Visualize success. Let's talk about a technique that might seem like it's straight out of a motivational seminar, but is actually grounded in both ancient wisdom and modern psychology. Visualization. This isn't about wishful thinking or simply hoping for the best. Visualization is a proactive strategy that involves vividly imagining yourself achieving your goals. It's about creating such a compelling vision of success that your motivation to make it a reality skyrockets. Why does this method work? Well, when you visualize achieving something, you're doing more than just fantasizing. You're engaging the same neural pathways in your brain as if you were actually performing the action. Athletes often use this technique to enhance their physical performance. They visualize themselves executing a perfect pitch or sprinting through the finish line. This mental rehearsal prepares their minds and bodies for the actual event, enhancing their confidence and improving their physical performance. But it's not just athletes who can benefit from this. You can use visualization to prepare for any task. By spending a few minutes each day picturing yourself successfully completing your projects or reaching your goals, you effectively lay down a blueprint in your mind. This process was echoed by Carl Jung, who believed that what you resist persists in your unconscious, meaning that whatever you focus on grows in your psyche. By focusing on positive outcomes, you encourage your mind to consider these as not just possible, but probable. The Stoics also practiced a form of visualization known as premeditatio malorum, which involves visualizing potential obstacles and preparing oneself to face them. While this might sound a bit pessimistic compared to visualizing success, the core idea is similar. Mentally rehearse what you might face so that you can manage it effectively when you do. For our purposes, visualizing success combines the Stoic practice of rehearsal with a focus on positive outcomes, strengthening your mental resilience and readiness. Visualizing success also taps into the law of attraction, which suggests that we can attract into our lives whatever we are focusing on. By vividly imagining your success, you align your energy and actions with what you aim to achieve. This isn't magic. It's about setting your intent and mood to make choices that lead you toward your envisioned future. For instance, imagine you've just nailed an important presentation. Visualize the applause, the proud feeling, the satisfied nod from your peers or superiors. How does it feel? What are you wearing? What sounds are in the room? The more detailed your visualization, the more real it feels. and the more your brain becomes inclined to act in ways that align with this success. Furthermore, this mental practice helps you overcome fears and anxieties about potential failure. It's a cognitive shift from "what if I fail" to "what will it be like when I succeed?" This shift is powerful. It moves you from a state of avoidance to one of anticipation and engagement. By regularly visualizing positive outcomes, you build a natural inclination toward behaviors that support achieving those outcomes. Incorporate visualization into your daily routine. Just a few minutes each day can dramatically influence your perception and attitude. Make your visualizations as vivid and detailed as possible. Think about the sensations, the environment, even the emotions you expect to feel. This not only boosts your confidence, but also makes the success you're working towards feel more tangible and achievable. The power of now. Have you ever noticed how often we say, "I'll do it tomorrow"? It seems like tomorrow is the ultimate catch-all for our hopes, plans, and especially our procrastination. Yet what if we shifted that mindset? What if we embraced the power of now, transforming this very moment into the cornerstone of progress and achievement? Tomorrow is indeed the busiest day of the week, but ironically, it never actually arrives. As we postpone and procrastinate, tomorrow turns into a mythical time where all motivation and productivity are supposed to magically converge. But here's the reality. The perfect moment you're waiting for doesn't exist. The best time to start is now. This notion aligns closely with the teachings of Stoic philosophy, which emphasizes living in the present and not allowing the past or future to encroach on your mental peace. As Marcus Aurelius put it, confine yourself to the present. This powerful advice reminds us that we only truly possess the present moment. Thus, it's here that we must act. The psychology behind immediate action is compelling. When you take even a small step towards your goals right now, you create momentum. Behavioral scientists have found that initiating a task, even in the smallest way, can significantly reduce anxiety about starting and increase your likelihood of continuing. This is partly due to a psychological phenomenon known as the Zeigarnik effect, where individuals remember uncompleted tasks better than completed ones. Your brain essentially keeps a mental note of unfinished tasks, prompting you to resume work to achieve closure. By starting now, you tap into this natural mental inclination to see tasks through to completion. Furthermore, Carl Jung's insights into human behavior highlight the importance of action over inertia. He suggested that you are what you do, not what you say you will do. This perspective underlines the value of actions in defining who we are, rather than our plans or promises. Each action you take shapes your identity more than any number of intentions. So, how can you harness the power of now? Start by asking yourself, what is one thing I can do immediately to advance towards my goals? It doesn't need to be a giant leap. Small, consistent actions are the building blocks of significant achievements. Whether it's drafting an email, sketching an outline, or simply organizing your workspace, each small action accumulates and builds into larger progress. Moreover, acting now helps break the cycle of procrastination and perfectionism. Waiting for the perfect conditions is a common trap. Perfection is an illusion that delays action. Instead, embrace the imperfect start. There's wisdom in the saying, "Done is better than perfect." The act of doing, regardless of the outcome, moves you closer to your goals than perfect planning ever could. In embracing the present moment as your point of power, you align with another philosophical gem from the Stoics, encapsulated in the teachings of Epictetus, who believed that we should focus only on what is within our power. This approach simplifies decision-making and boosts confidence, as it places the onus on us to act where we can actually make an impact here and now. Reward yourself. Imagine this. You've just powered through a lengthy report or finally tidied up your workspace. What's next? Here's where the sweet part of productivity kicks in: rewarding yourself. Yes, it's not just about getting through your to-do list. It's about making that journey enjoyable and sustainable by integrating rewards into your routine. After all, who doesn't love a good treat for their hard work? Incorporating rewards into your workflow is more than just a nice break from routine. It's a vital component of a healthy work ethic that acknowledges your effort and reinforces your future motivation. This concept isn't just about giving yourself a pat on the back. It taps into the psychology of behavior reinforcement, where rewards strengthen the actions that precede them. This aligns closely with the behavioral principles of conditioning, the same principles that B.F. Skinner explored to understand how consequences affect our actions. But let's dive a bit deeper, drawing from the wisdom of the ancients to the moderns. Stoicism, for instance, might not directly advocate for indulging in rewards, but it does emphasize the importance of appreciating and making the most out of each moment. Marcus Aurelius, in his personal writings, urged the importance of tasks done well and the satisfaction that comes from acting according to one's principles. In a modern sense, rewarding yourself can be seen as celebrating the virtue of discipline. You set a goal, you achieve it, and you acknowledge the effort it took. Rewarding yourself effectively also means choosing rewards that are appropriate and motivational. Say you've completed a challenging part of a project. Taking a coffee break or treating yourself to an episode of your favorite show not only offers a moment of relaxation, but also creates a positive association with completing a task. This association can be crucial for long-term productivity, making it more likely that you'll tackle your next challenge with enthusiasm. Moreover, Carl Jung's exploration of the psyche sheds light on why rewards can be so satisfying. He believed that acknowledging all aspects of our experiences, including celebrating our successes, contributes to a more holistic sense of self. By rewarding ourselves, we are not only motivating future action, but are also affirming our worth and our abilities, fostering a healthy psychological state that recognizes and values our efforts. Additionally, rewards help break up the monotony of continuous work, which can be crucial for maintaining high levels of creativity and productivity. They provide something to look forward to, making the slog through more tedious tasks a bit more bearable. Think of it as creating a rhythm in your workflow, where periods of focused effort are interspersed with moments of genuine leisure, enhancing your overall efficiency. However, it's important to strike the right balance. The key is to ensure that rewards do not become a form of procrastination in themselves. They should serve as a finish line that spurs you on, not distractions that pull you from the path. This is where self-discipline comes in, a trait much lauded in both Stoic teachings and modern psychological practices. It's about controlling your impulses so that the reward follows the effort, not the other way around. And there you have it, a simple yet effective way to make your productivity not just sustainable, but enjoyable. Remember, every task you complete is a step towards your greater goals, and every reward is a celebration of your dedication. Now don't forget to check out one of the suggested videos on your screen to continue your journey with us. Dive deeper, learn more, and stay inspired. Thank you for joining us here at Stoic Journal. Keep moving forward, keep striving, and keep celebrating your wins, no matter how small.